When we look at the tanks of World War II, the topic usually turns with the mainstream tanks like Tiger, the Sherman or the T-34 like no other tank ever existed. But these were not the only tanks that were present in the war. Small countries tried to build their own tanks to keep up with the big powers. One of these countries were Hungary, which had a rather impressive tank building program, regardless it was not prepared for it economically. Hungary is a small Eastern European country that during World War II was surrounded by countries it was allied to, but in the meantime was hostile against. Due to this, the country tried to build up a strong enough army regardless of the treaties of Versailles, which didn't allow them to do so. For the background of this weird geopolitical situation, please watch my other video about this topic, which I will link in the description. Hungary in the end of the 1930s could not acquire military hardware from the United Kingdom, France or from the United States, as Hungary was aligned with Germany. On the other hand, Germany was reluctant to sell any of their tanks to Hungary as they were busy set up their own army. Also, they were not really trusting Hungary. Due to this, Hungary had to look for other ways to arm itself. One of the countries Hungary turned to, it was Sweden, which resulted in the Nimrod AA, and another one was Italy, where they got the Ansaldo Tankets. When Germany annexed Czechoslovakia, it took over the Skoda factory, which built few promising tanks that the Wehrmacht moved into their own ranks. For example, the T-38 or the T-35 tanks. Others, such as the T-21 and T-22, was not interested in the Germans, hence they never left the prototype state. The Hungarian Royal Army knew about these and they used them as a base for their own development to produce a medium tank. They increased the armor to 50mm, replaced the 47mm gun with a 40mm Hungarian manufactured gun and the engine for a stronger one. As Hungary was not an economic powerhouse, it had a very little experience building tanks, and they were limited how big and powerful tank they can build. Hence, when the 40M Turán reached the front and the units were equipped with these tanks, they were already on the border of obsolescence. The suspension system was fragile, the powertrain with the double clutch system and the cooling system was causing a lot of trouble. Also, the 40mm gun could not cause a serious damage to the Soviet tanks such as the T-34 or the KV series. The Turán series had three different versions, the Turán 1, 2 and 3. The first one, the 40M Turán Mark I, was with the 40mm gun, and when it was still under rollout, the icons realized that it will not be enough to fight the Russian tanks. An improved version was designed called 41M Turán Mark II, and this had a 75mm short-barreled gun installed and an improved armor protection. Once these were reaching the units, they immediately started to work on the third version, which was the 43M Turán Mark III, which had more improvements and a long-barreled 75mm gun. The Turán tank had a crew of 5 and the tank weighted just over 18 tons. The later years the tanks were modified with skirting placed to increase the protection against Soviet anti-tank rifles. I just wanted to stop the video for 1 second to say thank you for watching it and ask you to like the video and subscribe to my channel, as would help a lot here on YouTube. Thank you very much, and back to the video. The work was abruptly stopped when Germany occupied Hungary in 1944 and all factories had to manufacture parts for the Wehrmacht. Although the experience they learned was not only very useful but also was used in design and development of the Zrínyi assault gun, which I will talk about in another video. The Turán tanks, regardless that they were obsolete when they appeared, they've seen a lot of combat and they were heavily used in the Eastern Front against the Soviet army. They were assigned to the 1st and the 2nd Hungarian Armored Division and to the 1st Cavalry Division. They took part fighting the Red Army, and later when Germany occupied Hungary, forcing them to keep on fighting on their side, they were fighting together with the much stronger and modern German units till then. Even though it was the best tank built by the Hungarians, by the time the 41M Turán entered the service in Hungary's armored forces, it was on the verge of obsolescence, and to be honest could not compete with the Allied tanks. The Turán tanks did see a significant combat and could, under the right conditions, defeat any Soviet light tank. Nevertheless, it was a huge effort from a small country to try to keep the army capable to fight a much larger army. Thank you for watching my video and see you next time.